All right, I had no idea that we were going to pull this game off, and at one point it looked like we probably were not going to pull it off. Like it was falling down the traditional Buccaneer way where we take the lead, the other team goes down and scores, we have a chance to tie or take the lead, which we did again, and then we ended up actually stopping them, which is very unique as a Buccaneer fan. For, you know, in general, we've always had this issue. But before I get into my reaction, if you are new here, I am Ramy B. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I post weekly Buccaneer reaction videos. So let's get into it. So we won a close game with a score of 29-25. A game, honestly, where I feel like we really had a strong chance of losing, and I don't think it was a good game where we showed out pretty well in the game, and I think it was just a fat matter of two teams that really didn't want to win. The Buccaneers had 290 yards of total offense, 142 passing, 148 rushing, and it kind of goes back to what I've been saying for the last 2 months, that offensively we are good for 300-ish yards a game on offense. I think on average, we're probably averaging around 330, 340. I haven't done the math, but I don't think we've exceeded 400 yards of total offense really at all. Maybe 1 or 2 games, if that. We are generally an average, slightly below average offensive team, and that's the reason our record is what it is. We have to play teams that either have worse offenses or teams that make mistakes, like the Falcons did today. A lot of our wins, there's a lot of mistakes that the opponents make, turnovers and things like that we end up capitalizing on. But overall, our offense has been not good at all. This is what, our 3rd time scoring like over 22 points or something like that. The Falcons had 438 yards of total offense, 338 passing, and 100 rushing. Like I said, teams, even when we win, obviously when we lose, but even when we win, other teams have higher offensive output than we do in regards to yards and moving the ball. It's just they had turnovers or they're settling for field goals, whatever the case is. Baker Mayfield did not have a good game at all. He was 14-29 for 144 yards and 2 passing touchdowns as well as a rushing touchdown. His numbers were not good. He was missing wide open wide receivers, throwing into double coverage, even shorter passes he was throwing essentially off the ground. It was bouncing and skipping over to the receivers. I don't know if his injury from a couple weeks ago against the Colts is playing a role, but I think last week too he had roughly 50% completion. Today, same thing. It's not looking good, and luckily we're not playing great opponents, so we're able to overcome that, but this is not something that's going to work for us kind of moving forward. Run game was again a little bit better. Rachaad White, 25 carries for 102 yards and 4.1 yards per carry. Looks like we're continuing with the high volume. Chase Edmonds, 8 for 40, and then like I said, Baker had 3 scrambles for 3 yards and a touchdown. On the receiving end, not really a good day. Godwin, 5 for 53. I think after what Godwin's wife said online, they're making more of an effort to get him the ball, so he had the most receiving yards. Rachaad White, 2 for 33 and a touchdown, with 31 of that coming from that catch and run that he had, I want to say it was in the 3rd quarter, end of 3rd quarter maybe, to put us up 19-10 at that point, I want to say. And then nobody else had over 30 yards. Evans had 1 catch for 8 yards, so though he was targeted, he did not have a lot of catches today. On the defensive end, I would say the defense probably outperformed the offense. We had McCollum had a forced fumble. I forgot which one had the forced fumble that led to the safety, but Antoine Winfield Jr. had a sack and a forced fumble. Did have a pick that was negated by a Carlton Davis hands to the face. Carlton Davis had a pick that looked like it was going to be a pick 6, but as he picked the ball, he bumped himself into I think it was the running back on the screen, and then that I guess counted as him being down when he hit the ground. And then Cansey had a sack, Gaines had a sack. I want to say we had 3 sacks total, but defensively in the first half we were doing okay. In the 3rd quarter we definitely locked down. I think Atlanta went into a lot of 3 and outs and weren't moving the ball at all. They couldn't run, they couldn't pass. But then the 4th quarter is when our defense kind of started leaking, and then they were able to move the ball much more effectively. Desmond Ridder had 26 completions of 40 attempts for 347 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Their run game, Algier was their leading rusher, 9 for 40. Bijan Robinson, 10 for 34 and a touchdown. And then Ridder had 4 carries for 15 yards and a touchdown. For some reason, I know last time we played, I think Bijan was hurt. But this time, he's been kind of their bell cow, and for some reason against us, they're not using him as much. On the receiving end, yeah, we had no answer. Drake London, 10 catches for 172 yards. It seemed like when we took the lead initially, when we went, what was it, 22-19? I don't remember exactly. Yeah, 22-17, I think it was. They ended up needing to move the ball with, I think, 3 minutes or some change left, something like that, 4 minutes. And yeah, Drake London had a big catch. It seemed like every drive they're able to move the ball, Drake London had a big completion. Kyle Pitts, 3 for 57 and a touchdown, and Bijan, 5 completions for 54 yards. Nobody else had over 50 yards. So like I said, the offense, it seems like when we need to be creative, we become much more vanilla. And I think it goes again back to Todd Bowles' philosophy. I want to say it was after the half, whoever the analyst was on the field said they talked to Bowles right at halftime, right before or after, and he said that we need to gain more yards on first down runs. So again, we continuously, blindly, stubbornly continue to try to push the ball on runs on first down. And when it's not working, the answer is we need to keep doing it till it works, which again is not, you know, the strength of this team. And I understand if Baker is hurt or not playing like himself, they may not have trusted him because he did not look good today. I want to say this was arguably top 3 worst performances of him this season in terms of like accuracy, decision making, and things like that. So again, very stubbornly trying to push it. We're not, you know, feels like those end arounds and sweeps we run once every 3 to 4 games. Again, not that good. And Bulls, again, the defense, when we need them, it ultimately need them to clamp down. They usually don't. Luckily, Atlanta ran out of time. If Atlanta had another timeout at the end or another 3-4 seconds, they probably would have won the game because they ended up getting the ball. I want to say it was Drake London caught it at the 3 or 2 and got hit and went down with like 2 seconds left and 1 second. If they had a timeout, they were winning the game. So although we were able to clamp down and get the win, I would say it's more of just they ran out of time versus us really shutting them down. Because they did move the ball, I think 2-3 plays, they were on our side of the field anyways. So, and then the drive before when we went up 22-17, it was they needed a touchdown. They moved the ball, 40-some yard completion to Drake London. So again, the defense is Todd Bowles' strong suit, and for some reason the defense is not playing as well as it was in the past. That's all there is to it. Now we are tied for first place with the Falcons and the Saints. However, due to tiebreakers, we are in first place at 6-7. We have the 1-1 tie. We're 1-1 against the Falcons, but we do have the conference record tiebreaker right now since we've won more conference games or have a better record in conference games. I don't know, once the season ends and the conference records are all calculated. And then we are above the Saints because we have a 1-0 lead over them in terms of head-to-head. So right now we are in first place. Next week we play the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay, and that probably might be a loss. It's going to be cold weather, obviously, and we tend to struggle in that. However, the Packers have seemed to flip the switch and have won a few tough games. They beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I think they beat Detroit, I want to say, on Thanksgiving. They won some tough games, and they seem to be a very tough out for us. So we'll see what happens, but as of right now, we're first place. I don't think if we win the division, we should still retain Todd Bowles. I think Arthur Smith is probably going to stay, and Dennis Allen looks like he might. And I think if we replace Bowles with a better head coach, we might have the advantage of the division. But obviously Todd Bowles is coaching for his career, so he's going to do all he can to win the division. But I don't think him winning the division at 8-9 or 7-10 should be enough to warrant him to come back and think he is a good coach. Since again, last year he did it with the greatest of all time, 8-9. We went 8-9 and got destroyed by Dallas. And again, if we go in as the fourth seed, we'll probably face Dallas again, and there's nothing in my heart that tells me we could beat or even compete with Dallas this year. So yeah, Bucs Nation, comment down below what you think. And we did win, so 2 wins in a row. We still have, what, 4 games left? So yeah, hopefully we are able to get it done. Or do we have 3 games left? 4 games left. So yeah, I think we still got to play Jacksonville. We still got to play Green Bay. We still got to play the Panthers and the Saints. So yeah, I mean, the division can still go anyway. But yeah, comment down below what you think. And as always, I am out.
Let's go! You a Buccaneer fan? Let me know. Let me know. We about to win this thing at home. Let's go! Buccaneers.